And good evening and welcome to the Jackson Christian Recap Show. Coach Joe Holloway along with Brian Bullard. And, of course, we're going to talk Jackson Christian football tonight. But, Coach, before we get very much into it, we got fans hanging on the edge of their seat because I just received a text a minute ago. What is the score of the middle school game?
The last update I got, Coach, was 20-14 Jackson Christian. And Mason Vaughn has accounted for all three of those touchdowns. So it was 20-14, and we'll keep getting updated by our folks that are there. And so we'll get an update here soon.
Coach, let's jump into what the fans may want to hear, not want to hear, but they do want a little bit. We had a tough contest. We started out like a ball of fire. Everything looking good, and then slowly the wheels kind of came off the bus a little bit. Kids gave a good effort. We had good enough stats. If you looked at the stats, you would have thought we either won or lost a close game.
Yes, sir. It was kind of similar to the ECS game at the start as we drove down, executing our run game and some pass plays to convert, and then just kind of stalled there in the red zone. And different from this game, we got points on the board and felt good about it. In the first drive, you always want to get 7, but we'll take points there and then turn around and get an interception on the next drive. But yeah, we there were some plays to be made. We made a few, didn't make enough, and they made some plays. So. And
that happens sometimes in football. But really and truly, our young men accounted well for themselves. We had only a few penalties. What was 3 or 4 at the I think 4.
Yes, sir. I think you're right.
And great game we executed. Just like I said, sometimes the moon, the stars, the planets don't line up, if you like that, when the wheels come off the bus. But nothing to be ashamed of. And we'll come back. And this week we've got to travel and go on the road, but we'll give a good effort. I think, and correct me on my stats if I'm wrong, we're 4-2 overall. That yes, I'm sure of. We're now 1-1 in the region. But here's the interesting thing. We're 2-1 on the road, 2-1 at home. So we can play any place.
Some good splits there, Coach. You want to be like that. You don't want to be good at home and not on the road or vice versa. So that's good for our program.
Let's talk about some of the noteworthy young men. First of all, you've got a running back over there he's got a few yards here, and I'd say he's going to reach 1,000 very quickly.
Yes, sir. We got Cam Boyd with 701 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns. And, Coach, that's without the Hardy Academy game. And if we would have gotten a chance to play that game, his yardage would be more. And we're proud of him and his effort. You got Jalen Mosley, 406 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns on the season, and 828 all-purpose yards. And Coach, he's turning into somebody that the other teams don't want to kick to. And when they do, he's making them pay for it. And as a freshman, he's doing a lot for us, playing in the back end of our defense, and really doing a great job for us when he
doesn't get much rest, does he?
He doesn't get much rest.
Would it be fair to call him, when he first came into the league, a Christian McCaffrey?
There you go.
He all-purpose. Is there anything? Actually, he probably could line up and play quarterback, but that'd take him out of doing some of the other stuff.
Yeah, he thinks he's a quarterback, but we're keeping him where he's at right now, Coach. And then we had Walker Ray, which we'll touch on this again later on the show, but 3 receptions, 84 yards, 2 tackles, and an interception. And Walker played one of the best games I've seen him play from an offensive and defensive standpoint Friday night, and I don't want that to get overshadowed in a loss.
No, he had an all-around game, maybe his best, and he's had good games in his career. And he also, his focus.
Yes, sir.
The USJ defender hit it with his hands. A lot of young men would lose focus, and, I mean, Walker was right there on it, and there was never any doubt he was going to catch that rascal.
Yes, sir. That was he caught had a first down early in the game on a little pass play, and he almost intercepted another pass later in the game on one of their screens and made a good play, and so Walker had a good game for us. And like I said, we'll touch on that again later on.
And I want to add something to that. What people don't realize, Walker takes a beating in there.
Mm-hmm.
Unless things have changed since I played football, the snapper, I don't care, even with the new rules that supposedly protects them, they take a beating because a lot of times you're going to have anywhere from 2 to 4 men trying to cram through in the A gap, knock the center out of the way, and this, that, and the other with legal stuff. And he snaps field goals, extra points, and the punts.
Yes, sir, he does, and that's big. And I think we touched on this last show or maybe the one before. The kick is what everybody notices, but you have to have the snap, the hold, and everything, and it starts with the snap.
What is it, 1.2 or 1.3 seconds? It's all got to be done.
I think 1.2 in that, yes, sir.
Yeah,
so,
1.3 is probably a little long now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But the 1.2 on that, but nothing good happens unless Walker. And I'm happy to report that our man on extra points and field goals is perfect this year. I hope I haven't jinxed him, but Zach Cisco has turned into. We've had 2 great kickers in a row now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and he's just continuing that tradition. And we had him on the show a while back, and his work ethic is impressive, and how much he kicks and how much he really wants to be good at what he does. And it is a weapon to have. And eventually, we talked about how he's going to be kicking the ball in the end zone, and makes us even better when an offense has to go 80 yards, as we had to do quite a few times.
He's not far from getting
sir,
there now. And he's got a good teacher, James Wilhart, that kicked for UT, and he's taught him several different things that he can do with football. But he works. A lot of times he goes down in or comes back after practice, and his dad holds for him and stuff, or either fields them and throws them back if it's kickoffs. And Shane, proud of you for doing that. But Zach is a soccer player, but he can play wide out, but we don't need to take a chance on him getting banged up as a wide out.
Yes, sir.
And that, and we've got one of our guests tonight, we'll go ahead and talk about him a little bit because he's an impressive athlete. You get to work with him in 2 sports. He's a nice young man, Wyatt Jones. I love that guy because he plays catcher in baseball.
Yes, sir.
And I'll let you talk a little bit about him and then we'll introduce him here in a couple of minutes.
So Wyatt is an outside linebacker for us and a tight end, H-back type. So he's involved on both sides of the football. And I'll save his stats for when we introduce him, but he's just a guy. He is a catcher type. A catcher does something that nobody else wants to do, and Wyatt will do. We'll get in there and do what we ask, and it's not always glorious and glamorous, but he does a great job for us.
He gets dirty on the field, doesn't he? And we're not talking about penalty-wise. He gets dirty on even on the AstroTurf field. He's going to find some dirt to get on his uniform because he's down there. He'll be at the bottom of a pile. He'll be throwing a block, and I just like watching the young man. And in baseball last year, he really caught my eye because sometimes we had young pitching, and sometimes they get a little tired, and those old balls bounce in the dirt, and they're a little wide sometime. And you know what? Never saw him give up. Tell you what we probably need to do is, and maybe we should hold this till after the break because we've got a Southern Capital Player of the Week award to give. When should we give it? Today, right now, or after we come back?
Coach, we can go ahead and hit on it, and that way we can give all the attention to these other 2 guys that are here with us tonight. Walker Ray, and I touched on that a little bit, named the Southern Capital Player of the Week with his 3 catches, 84 yards, 2 tackles, and an interception. And like we talked about already, don't want to hit on it too much, but he played a great game on both sides of the ball. And like I said, one of the most complete games I've seen him play. And he's getting better and better. And he blocks for us at receiver, catches passes. He will play corner. If somebody goes down, he can play just about any position in the back end of that secondary. And that's huge, having somebody that knows all the spots that because with depth, we don't always have a 2 deep. Yeah. And you want to have a senior that you can put in there and you can trust. And
sure.
Not always the most athletic, but he'll make up for it with effort and heart, and that's what we ask him to do.
He makes pretty good reads too, doesn't he? He's
got some instincts, yes, sir. He's a very instinctual kid, and that's baseball, basketball, football, whatever the sport is. And sometimes that happens when you're the son of a coach and you watch sports, you're around sports, and so he does pick up on those things. And if you notice him. He's getting us in our checks defensively. He's getting us in our coverages and getting us. You'll see a lot of adjusting before the snap, and a lot of that's Walker. And especially when you have a true freshman, that's college term, but a freshman free and a sophomore strong safety, we really rely on Walker and Campbell to get us in our defense, and that's just a huge thing that sometimes gets overlooked.
And that's not as easy as some of you fans talk about because when I was coaching football and when I did some offensive coordinator, I had to carry my scorecard thing in the back that told you kick or you go for one. In
Your
this situation,
analytics.
I
Yes,
had
sir.
to keep it in my pocket.
Yes, sir.
And you should know those things. You've got a coach on the field with him. He sees the game, and it's important. That's kind of like with the front four, your linebackers, tackle coordinates. I know some of that stuff, but Walker, a very unique individual. He told me one time, he said, "Coach, if they want me to rush the passer, I get in there and play defensive line."
I don't
And
have
that's
any
the type
doubt.
guy
Yeah,
he is.
absolutely.
But you know what? We've got a squad filled with a lot of young men that are that way. Couple of questions I'm somebody's giving out my text number. Evidently, they want to know. No serious injuries though coming out of last week.
Nah, just some banged up a little bit. We had some guys come out, but nothing serious. Everybody's practicing this week, and at this time of the year, everybody's banged up.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
you're week 6, week 7, and we preach that. The bumps and bruises are going to happen, and we just have to keep coming to practice, keep getting the reps, keep getting the mental reps, and be as healthy as we can be on Friday. And that's kind of how, the last team standing is the one that executes and does the little things right, but also is able to stay healthy and kind of keep everybody together. So we're in a pretty good spot with that, and we're going to continue to monitor that and take care of our guys and put them in the best chance to win on Friday that we can.
Absolutely. Spirited week of practice is what I have been told.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you address that a little bit.
Well, on Friday, everybody looks at the scoreboard and it hurts. If it doesn't hurt, I question your competitiveness a little bit, but you can't dwell on it. And that's the thing. If you dwell and you're living in the past, it's going to hinder the process that we have to face this week and the team that we have to face this week. And so immediately, our guys were heads up, looking us in the eye, listening to what we had to say, and they came into work on Monday and took coaching in film, some corrections and things like that, which isn't always easy to do. Nobody wants to be corrected. Nobody wants to be kind of called out a little bit, but you can't learn and grow if you can't accept that. And so Monday we had a great, I don't call it a walkthrough, but just scheme and film and all that stuff. And then today's kind of one of our long work days, and we had a great practice. And so when you're working with 14, 18-year-olds, sometimes you got to wonder. A lot of times you got to wonder how they're going to bounce back mentally.
Absolutely.
And I think so far they've answered the challenge, and this team has answered the challenge any time that we've kind of given one to them. And so I have no doubt that we'll have another good one tomorrow, and have our guys ready to play. They're getting themselves ready. We try to give them the best chance we can.
I know y'all will have them ready to play, but I see a little look in some of them that I've seen yesterday and today, and saw a couple of them Sunday, and the hurt was there, but they had that gleam in their eye that I'm ready to find somebody and hit them and tackle them, recover some fumbles, get some interceptions, and run for some touchdowns.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it ought to be. I want you to expound on this, and I'm pulling a fast one because I had a texter remind me. In the old days, I had two guys, and one of them you may know. One of them was Dr. David Blackstock. We had been like 2 for whatever. We won't give the number. We'd only won 2 games in 3 years at Jackson Junior. And we moved into the new school from the old building. And Dr. Blackstock, he wasn't Dr. Blackstock then, and Bobby Wilson, the former Southside coach, gave all of us a little poem thing. Team that won't be beat can't be beat. If you don't play to win, why keep the score? I want to get your thoughts on that, because that's the way our kids, I think, are. Even with us down on the scoreboard, we didn't quit playing the other night.
No, and that's something that really tells you the true character of a team. Going into halftime 28-10, we challenged them to stay up and to keep competing and to keep fighting, because you're building for that game, but you're building for the rest of the season. When you still have your goals and everything out in front of you, there's no need to get down and to dwell. And we're trying to preach a program and family and all those things. And you're gonna face challenges in your family that if you run away from them, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So we got to take those and take it head on and get ready. And that's what these guys do. And we got great leadership. We got captains, but not just the captains. A couple of these kids right here tonight, they're not captains per se, but they're guys that go out and do and show, which is sometimes more to be said than what you say to people. And so, we sat around, we wondered how they would respond, but in the back of our minds and maybe in the front of our minds, I think we knew how they would respond. And so that's a thing. You in a program, you can't point fingers, you can't start, and I didn't hear any of that. And so we're excited about this week and another opportunity to play football.
Yeah, I love it. No Manny Machado and no Fernando Tatis.
I hope not.
And those two young men, hopefully they learned a lesson in major leagues. But we've got young men that aren't major leaguers that have already learned that lesson. You've got leadership. Matter of fact, two of them, very quiet young men but they do lead by example.
Yes,
One was thrown into a situation that he probably wasn't expecting this year for it to happen. The other, well, he's a catcher, and you can tell I have a love for catchers. Now, we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to them, and Coach Brian Bullard is going to take the lead in some of that. Oh, you know me. I'm still going to talk a whole lot. But now I'm excited to announce that Coach Bullard's going to be working with us in basketball most of the time or all the time, because every once in a while I know our good friend and a young man I love, I knew him when he had hair on his head and when he was a student coach at David Lipscomb, Jason Shelton. He's turned into a fine young man, and the way that they're trained, whether it be at David Lipscomb University, Freed Hardeman, or Jackson Christian School, our kids are all trained the right way.
We try. We're not perfect by any means, but we try to have an influence and impact these kids.
Okay, before we go, we are here at Hub City Deli.
Yes, sir.
It's on Pleasant Plains Extended. They have surprise sandwiches every week. I think last week they had the Piggy Sue, which is one of my favorites because of the 2 grilled pork chops, the molasses sauce, and the whole bit that's on there. Coach, I was almost ready to come over and take your sandwich away from you. Tell the fans what they prepared for you tonight.
Coach, I had the burger, and it's got the bacon and cheese and spicy mayo on there, and I'm not big on the other stuff, but it might be one of the best burgers in town.
And see, people don't realize that, yes, a deli can have a burger.
Absolutely.
That's my next one. Then I go get the brisket. And it is such a wonderful opportunity. You can come down here every Tuesday night and not only just eat the food, but meet the players. And they're not like the guys with the NIL. They'll sign autographs for you. They'll even get a picture with you or just talk to you because they are real young men. And then you can get some of the best deli food. But like I said, the hamburger, Coach hit the jackpot. He didn't know that is my other favorite one because it's here every week.
Yes, sir.
But check with the specials here, the ones they bring in. When they bring the Piggy Sue back, get you one. You won't regret it. We're going to take that 2-minute timeout when we come back with Coach Brian Bullard and some of the players after this.
Hello, folks. This is Gary Deaton, right here at Deaton's Carpet One. I want to let you know we've been in business for 48 years. Here's what I believe has made the difference. Our lifetime labor warranty on everything we install. Our healthy living installation, bacteria and germs cannot survive in our new flooring. Our beautiful guarantee, if you don't just love it, we'll replace it. It will make your flooring experience priceless. We're located on Freedom Highway, 1000 Highway 45 bypass in good old Jackson, Tennessee.
27 years ago, a vision became a reality and Snookum Steakhouse officially opened. We cut our steaks in-house and our ribeyes are full of flavor. The steak trimmings are used to make our certified Angus beef steak burgers, so when you order at Snookum's, you are getting high quality. Enjoy our salad bar and mini dessert. Also try our famous family recipe, the Pink Lush Fruit Salad. Come visit Snookum Steakhouse in Henderson, Tennessee. We are open evenings Tuesday through Saturday but closed Sunday and Monday. Snookum Steakhouse, come taste the difference.
Great American Sports, make sports an addiction. Located at 125B Old Hickory Boulevard, East in Jackson. We specialize in teen sports for youth leagues, schools, and churches. We can embroider and screen print team uniforms. We also have sports equipment, Under Armour and Adidas clothing, and anything else you need for your teen sports. You can email or call us for all your teen sports needs. Great American Sports, make sports an addiction.
This could be a true story. On October 3rd, a 2003 hatchback struck and killed a deer that goes by the name Buck. I know, right? He now has Buck's head proudly displayed on his living room wall. He tells a different story.
Shot it.
No, he didn't.
And to hide his lie, he took his car to Mitchell's Body Shop.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did. And lucky for him, they made it look good as new. And as for Buck, the story continues.
And we are back on the recap show at Hub City Deli. Got a great crowd here. And we're going to have a guest in just a moment. Remind you, we are on Pleasant Plains Extended, not far from Jackson Christian School's physical plant and lovely facilities, which I encourage you to go out and see. If you want a good education, you want to play good sports, be taught well, and be taught how to be a better person besides a better athlete, go to Jackson Christian School. All our sports are good. And I'm going to turn it over to a two-sport coach because he's got a very special guest. Coach Brian Bullard is here with us tonight.
Coach, we have Wyatt Jones with us tonight, one of our player guests, and he's a junior. And just a couple of his stats here that we just got updated. He's got 28 tackles on the year, 4 for loss, and then a big interception in the Columbia game, I think it was. And this is a kid that we've talked about a little bit that does anything we ask him to do. And he plays on both sides of the football and outside linebacker for us. And then on offense, he's our H-back type, tight end. Gets in there, pulls, kicks, whatever's asked. And then you hit on it. He was caught a pass the other night against USJ, and we're getting better in that aspect of the game. And he's just a kid that you don't ever have to worry about, is he going to go out and compete? Is he going to show up? Because he's going to compete. He's going to give everything he has for us, and he's having a great year so far.
Oh, I know it, and I've seen him catch double headers too.
Yes,
and
sir.
This man is after my heart because he blocks balls in the dirt, and we've already talked a little bit. You didn't hear us a little bit wide, but he does a great job. Coach, I'm going to let you open it up tonight.
So Wyatt, for me, he's usually got all the questions. I'm just gonna touch on one. What's been the biggest stride, the biggest thing for you from your sophomore to your junior year in having success?
I would say strength for sure, and then just getting downhill, reading plays quicker, and just having a nose for the football. Been trying to get better about that and just keep improving on it.
So he touched on strength, and this you can look at him and tell this is a kid that's committed to the weight room. And if you're going to play football, if you're going to catch a bunch of games and all those things, you got to develop your body. And once again, and we'll have Coach on, but Coach Irvin does a tremendous job with him and with all of our guys. But also, this is a guy that is going to go work out on his own and do more, and that's what it takes. If you want to be better, if you want to continue to improve, you got to put the work in, and this is a kid that does that, and I think for me too, that working out and getting stronger gives you some confidence, and you can tell that he's confident in himself, and it's really had a good impact on him and on our team.
I can tell because I remember when he started, and I was there a couple of years. He's gotten a lot stronger. I don't think I'm going to mess with him. He might whip me all over the place. But
he'll think you can. I don't know about that, but he'll think you can.
Coach, I'm going to jump and change my line of usual questioning a little bit. Coach Irvin's fun to be in the weight room with, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
Old Lambeth player and stuff. And could he still tote the football a little bit?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Yeah, he's kind of hurting right now.
Yeah,
right.
He's got a little limp right now, but, yeah, I've seen him get out there and make a couple cuts and just get after it. And he's a good athlete, obviously. So.
Well, let's meet Wyatt Jones up close and personal. First of all, when did you start coming to Jackson Christian School?
I came in 6th grade for middle school and high school because the school I was going to before didn't have that option. And started playing football in 8th grade, and I've always played baseball, so that's always been a part of me.
So he's a late bloomer, Coach,
yes,
on the football.
And I'm not even sure I even knew that. I just assumed that he had played all of middle school. So that, yeah.
Well, he looks like a seasoned pro on that. You've done well and made the right reads and stuff. And you evidently have good focus, don't you?
Yes, sir. I try.
Yeah, at school, let's go ahead and get these things in. Everybody has a favorite subject. What is yours at school?
I like Dr. Hooper's A&P class because obviously, like, being an athlete and whatnot, you're constantly sore and aching. So just knowing what's hurting and, like, where that is on your body, I feel like that's interesting and that could be key, especially for a career I want to pursue in the future maybe.
Well, you know, A&P, which is one of the tough subjects, you have to take it to even be a coach now. Once upon a time, people kind of squirted through. You took a couple of PE subjects, and that's no longer true. And it's important that coaches know that. Then that brings on the next question. If you get a cramp, is it pickle juice or mustard that you use?
I don't know. My cramps are like something different. It just always hurts. I feel like way more than other people's, even though it may not. So I feel like just stretching, and then I don't know what the solution is, but I might go to mustard because pickle juice wasn't very hot for me this season.
Okay, pickle juice, not that, different things, and everybody's body chemistry works. Now, you can't mention a coach as your favorite teacher, but who besides the coaches are your favorite, or one of your favorite, or two favorite teachers?
Could I go back? Does it have to be from this year?
No, it can be past years because
All right.
there's people that leave impacts on your life.
Yeah, so 6th grade and 8th grade, I had Miss Stephanie Gatlin, and she was always one of my favorites. Just the way she constructed her class and how she would interact with us was always something that I enjoyed.
And I've heard that she is very good at that. Got to ask you this as a baseball player, and Coach will say, oh, my gosh, Coach Holloway's come up with some crazy questions. Who's a better baseball player, you or Jason Shelton? And I'm picking at Jason a little bit tonight.
I don't know. I've never seen Coach Shelton play, but I had to go with myself. I feel like confidence is a big key factor in how well you are on the field, on the diamond, so I'm going to go with myself.
He gave me exactly what I wanted.
Right.
I like this young man. And Jason, you are better. He was the tallest second baseman, though, I've ever seen.
I've heard.
I saw him play in high school, and Jason was a good athlete, but he couldn't catch like you do. Trust me. Jason, I'm sorry if you don't like that, but let's get back to you. Now, at school, what's your favorite food? Now, I always ask that of everybody. I've gotten some interesting answers in the lunch period.
Miss Angie makes ham and cheese sliders. I think I could eat those all day, so I'm going to go with that.
Coach, can I come eat lunch with y'all sometime?
Anytime. Come on. We have a great cafeteria.
You do. That's the reason I always ask about that. Outside of school, what's your favorite food? And then we're going to get back to some football and activity questions.
I would have to go with wings, just like buffalo wings, bone-in, boneless, whatever it is. I love it.
Oh, this man is after me. Good football players eat buffalo wings.
Absolutely.
They get fired up from eating those things. Favorite activity at school? Besides talking to girls. And I shouldn't have said that, too.
I would just go with my athletics class because not just the fact that I enjoy working out, but the guys we have in there, Tacker Nash, Cam Boyd, Daniel Green. We got guys that get after it and make you better. Joey Carr.
Now, you're kidding me. You mean Tacker works hard in the weight room?
Sometimes. He's just a little bit.
Oh, Tacker's a good guy. He's one of my best friends. Grandson. Sometimes you think Bill. His dad played at Jackson Christian also. Was a pretty fair athlete, coaching the elementary team. Mm-hmm. And Nathan, we'll give Nathan a little plug there because I like him. And, of course, his mom is Bill Hamilton's daughter. And we get a lot of people in there like that. Now, what do you want to be after you get out of college? And that's jumping ahead a little bit. And I should have asked you first, what do you think you're going to focus on besides the A&P in college?
I'm not sure. I've thought about maybe a career somewhere in law because I feel like I could do well in the court, things like that. But I think just athletic training and just staying around sports would be my thing.
You've got a tough decision because
yeah.
I know a young man that once had to make that decision. I hope he made the right decision, and my wife says I did, but I came up the same way. Law school and the coaching one.
Yeah.
And either one's rewarding. You do things. Got to ask you this, how good at geometry are you?
Geometry, I was pretty good at. Now it's the algebra that gets me.
He's a lawyer or a coach. No, there is a thing about that. They say all good lawyers are good at geometry. Now, team goals. Obviously, the ultimate goal is win the state championship. We know that. But what are some goals for you and the team that y'all want to accomplish this year?
I'll start with our team. Just continue to build the culture that Coach P and the rest of the staff has brought to Jackson Christian. I feel like a lot of the guys are together and we bond, we mesh well. So just to keep building on that culture with the rest of the program, because obviously, the middle school team has been good the past couple of years. And, great players would be great if their culture, if they just buy into it. And then for myself, I'd have to say just being a linebacker, whatever it is I'm doing, just get after it, play as hard as you can, and then defensively get to the football and just continue to build on and make more plays in the backfield.
And I can tell you believe in something that coaches, you have made an old coach dearly happy right now. The team concept and what Coach Palmer and his staff are building, it's got to be about family. The teams that get splintered, the Padres, I hate to pick on them, but one of my very good friends who's a broadcaster, that's his team. But he's dying right now because they splintered, and it wasn't just injuries that killed him. It was people had different goals instead of having team goals. And it's fine to have individual goals, which his are as good as anybody. But you have done well with that. Favorite athlete, any sport?
I have to say I'm a Cowboys fan, so I always liked Des Bryant when he played. I know he's old and he's not really playing anymore, but I always loved watching him play.
You love Des play. Anybody that family, and we know the coach is inspiring because that's one reason I like hanging around these guys. They make me feel good all the time, the coaches do. But who's been a big influence on your life that's not a coach?
I would say just both my parents. Obviously my dad, just a lot of years of not letting me not give good effort and just keep my attitude right. Like a lot of the stuff they preach every day, just attitude and effort, just keeping me up. And then he's been probably with Coach Irv, he's been the biggest factor in me getting stronger because I've listened to a lot of things he's had to say and just I feel like that's what's made me so much better. And then obviously my mom, even though she may not know exactly what's going on in every game, she's always supportive of me. And she's just same thing, keeping me up, just making me a good guy. And then she makes my lunch every day. So,
well, moms are special people. Your mom is very supportive, and I guarantee your dad is. And there are a lot. The good thing at Jackson Christian School, you get a lot of support, not just from coaches, but I've seen teachers, and you had some teachers that were living and dying with every play the other night. And sometimes I'll get the old binoculars out, look into the crowd to see, because human reaction is the thing. Favorite drill at practice?
That's hard. I like inside run. I like the energy that Coach Reichard brings, and then obviously the position I play on offense, not really a true tight end, but kind of like a split back. Just blocking back, as you call it on the broadcast.
Yes, I'm bad about saying that. When it really, it shows you I hadn't modernized. H-back's the term I'm supposed to use.
I'm fine with blocking back. I just like getting after it, and I like a lot of the things they ask me to do. I like the way we run our offense with that. So probably inside run.
And that I've got to modernize on a couple of the frames and stuff. See, I operated in the day when the ends were in tight. There were three men in the backfield, either in the power eye, the dead eye, or we still ran the straight T. And we didn't run but about 4 plays. Y'all's offense is much more exciting than ours. If we threw 3 passes in a game, it had been a big game, and you were probably behind. And y'all have a diversified offense, and it takes the blocking and the pass catching, but without your blocking. And that was the reason I believe they had you and Tacker both in at one on a couple of plays.
Yeah, we both switch out of that position just if one of us gets tired.
But y'all both were in there on the cover, and I liked it because these two young men, they smashed a couple of people.
Absolutely.
And that's that catching there. He is not afraid to block the plate, people, at baseball. And we haven't talked much about baseball. Anything you want to say about your baseball team? Because I know we got a big season coming up, and I'm looking forward to doing some of y'all's games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. We got a lot of good young players, and just continuing to build off of what we had last year, which it was a disappointing season, I would say, but we got a lot of good young players, and then we got a good staff with Coach Lumley, Coach Bull, and Coach McLean. So I'm ready for this year.
Did you know that rascal sitting next to you still holds some records down at Freight Hardeman?
Yes, sir.
Now, Josh Sears tried to erase him from the book, but Josh is gone, so he can't do any more damage.
That's right.
And
I'm hanging on.
Now, one of the most important things to me in this broadcast, because we are a Christian school, what is your favorite Bible verse?
It's basic, but, Philippians 4:13 is always something you can look back on as an athlete.
No, it's a great one. It's a great one to have. It's your turn to say anything you want. Not only do we got Jackson Christian fans, but we've got people in Kingsport, Tennessee listening. We got people in Mount Pleasant listening tonight that I know of. In fact, one of them is an old sports writer for Columbia Daily Herald. Moose Henry texted me and said he joined the broadcast just about the time you came on, and he said to tell you you're doing a good job on the broadcast. But it's your turn to say anything you want to those fans.
I would say just thank you for coming out. Keep showing out. We want to keep building and keep just getting better. And then I want to shout out the student section because it doesn't matter home or away game. They're showing out, and they're there to support us no matter what.
We love them. I love hearing them, and I'm going to say something, Wyatt, since you brought up the students. We have the best small band in America at our
We
school.
do. I was just thinking I forgot them, but they do great.
Absolutely. Cheerleaders, everybody, and we're just proud to be from Jackson Christian School. Coach, we're going to take a time out, and when you come back, or I'm going to come back with you, we've got another special guest. The young men have already eaten, and I'm envious of them because I don't get to eat till after the show. But anyway, we're here at Hub City Deli. These people, they've got everything, and we already told you about a couple of sandwiches. But that board, we'd have to end the broadcast and not get the other guest on if I read everything that's on that board. If they hadn't got it, I guarantee you they'll fix it for you. They know how to do it right here at Hub City Deli. Let's take a 2-minute time out, and when we come back, more from Jackson Christian.
We are a team composed of highly skilled physical therapists with new school treatment approaches and old school customer service principles. We are a community presence because we know our foundation rests in relationship building and involvement. We are leaders in this industry, and we're putting in time daily to develop that aspect of thinking. We're more than a business. We're a team composed of individuals governed by a set of core values. We're more than a physical therapy company. We're a movement in the profession. We are your premier physical therapy team in West Tennessee.
Buying a car is all about you. In person, over the phone, or online, we make it simple and easy. Our place is yours, no matter where you live. LonnieCobbFord.com or Lonnie Cobb Ford in Henderson, where cars really are cheaper in the country. At Lonnie Cobb Ford, we now give you a warranty for life on the engine and transmission. That's right, a warranty for life at no cost to you. Unlimited time, unlimited mileage, but it's only at Lonnie Cobb Ford in Henderson, where cars really are cheaper in the country.
Welcome to Man's Wrecker Service. We offer a wide array of services. We are dedicated towing professionals, experienced in both simple and complicated towing services. We offer light and heavy-duty off-road recovery, auto and heavy-duty towing, load shift and load transfer capabilities, and much more. We are equipped to handle any situation, no matter how big or how small. Call today at 731-424-2173.
Man, there's a new salon in Jackson, Race Clips, on South Highland, next door to Roland Safety and Supply. Whether it's a quick trim or a new look, Race Clips stylists can transform you to perfection. At Race Clips, you'll find all the products to keep you looking your best. Active duty military, veterans, and law enforcement officers receive a discount. Open Monday through Friday from 9 to 6, 9 to 3 on Saturday. Race Clips on South Highland, Jackson. Go to race-clips.com.
And we are back. I didn't push my button. I pushed the other two buttons on here to get us on, but we're on the Jackson Christian Football Recap Show from Hub City Deli every Tuesday night. It looks like it'll be now. Every once in a while we have to move it because we've got a lot of activities for student athletes that are important, and we try to support the whole school concept. Even the young people that don't play athletics, we support them. Come down to Hub City Deli and, like I said, eat with us. Meet the young men, and I know some of you have, and get your picture taken with them. They don't mind. You can snap it with that. They'll sign autographs, and they don't charge you like the college and pro athletes do. They're good people. I'm going to turn the show over now to Coach Brian Bullard. He has another guest.
Yes, sir, Coach. We got Eli Gay here with us, sophomore center. And you touched on it a little bit before we went back on the air, but this is a kid that has been getting reps and, working in with the ones, the twos, and, early in the year, Presley goes down, and Eli has jumped in. Excuse me, Coach. Has jumped in and has done a tremendous job. And his first game, ECS, and that's one of the, the better Division II teams in the state. Big offensive line, does a great job. We were still able to run the football. We lost the Harding Academy, canceled on us, and then this past week against USJ, big nose guard there in the middle, and Eli did a tremendous job holding his own. Snaps were good, and that's something kind of taken for granted as well. But there's a lot to snapping the football, stepping. We ask our centers to do a lot of blocking back, things like that. and he is answered the challenge and answered the call when you lose a junior starter and you don't notice it, and that's the best thing. Sometimes when you don't notice a player, not that we don't watch film and notice, but when he's in there, he's doing his job, he's getting the huddle set, trying to keep everybody calm and delivering a good football and blocking. And couldn't be more proud of this kid. Put in work all summer, and sometimes that's how it happens. You a backup or a two or whatever you want to call it, and then you get your opportunity. And Eli's done a tremendous job with our offense and going to continue to get better. And that's the thing. He's a sophomore, going to continue to get better, going to continue to get stronger, and be a really good football player for us.
Absolutely. Number 61 in the line, but number 1 in your heart, especially the effort that he's giving out right now. Eli, I got to ask, how tough was it? Because you expected this to be a learning year. Presley didn't intend to get hurt, and he seems like a good guy to work with. But talk about how tough it was to come in, and Coach alluded to a lot of the things. I can tell you're feeling better about playing center. First game, few butterflies, right?
Yes, sir. I think that's how it normally goes with somebody getting their first start in, and just kind of not knowing what to expect for just going out there and trying to execute to your best ability.
Well, I've seen a very good effort out of you at center. And folks, for the ones that don't understand it, guys my age, and I hate to put it in these terms, but they took a kid that probably looks like me or a little wider and put him in at center, and all you had to do is put the ball straight back and put it into the quarterback's hands. You operate in a spread/pistol type offense for the people that understand both those terms a little better. It's not an easy snap, is it?
No, sir, it's not. But I've been doing it since I was in 3rd grade, so I've had a little bit of experience with those kind of things.
Oh, you've had a lot, and he's done well. His snaps have been on the money, and that's
Yes,
good because Gage Boykin probably appreciates you quite a bit, because if that snap's a little low, he's a tall quarterback. He has to reach for it, and even though he's tall, if it goes too high and Gage is catching that football and he's ready to make something happen with a handoff, y'all are doing a good job. Cam Boyd was very appreciative when he was in here of the offensive line. Anything you want to say for your fellow offensive linemen? I know you have to like to block or you wouldn't be playing that position.
Yes, sir. Well, I just want to thank Greg and Liam. I wouldn't be able to do my job near as well without them. They've really helped me out a lot, encouraging me and just helping me with blocking in general.
Absolutely. Now let's meet some stuff with this up close and personal. You've already answered one question: how long you've been playing football, and this is when y'all like to get them. Coach's son is playing flag football right now.
Yes, sir.
You started with flag, right?
I started with Pee-wee tackle football in 3rd grade.
I'm impressed.
Yes, sir.
This is a tough man right here. And what other sports do you play?
I do track and field with Coach Hooper and Coach Irv.
Okay, you don't throw the shot or anything like that, do
No,
you?
sir, I haven't made that far yet.
You
just
haven't made
working
it that
out.
far. Oh, you're just working out with them.
Yes, sir.
I want to see some linemen get in there on those 400-meter relay teams and stuff. And y'all can run. I guarantee this young man is very quick. Favorite subject at school?
I would say it'd have to be world history.
A very good subject. The world history doesn't only tell us where we've been, but it gives some keys to where we're going in the future. And
Yes,
those
sir.
who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
2 ways, class and as a human, adult human too. Now, you can't use a coach, though. Favorite teacher, and a great question asked a while ago. Doesn't have to be this year. Your favorite teacher at Jackson Christian?
I think for this year, my favorite teacher would be Miss Tracy. And I think over the past few years, Ms. Christensen has really been an inspiration to me.
She really has. Both ladies. This is a great school. I think we've got a wonderful faculty. Now, what's your favorite activity at school? Is it chapel, lunch, just talking and hanging out, or what is it?
Probably lunch. Eating and getting to hang out with my friends in the day just to take a break from school.
I knew I liked this young man.
Absolutely.
I guarantee. Now, Coach, tell me again what y'all call chapel, because that shows you how old I am.
Well, last year, in the world we were in, we weren't able to everybody get together, and so this year we're a little bit 1 day a week, and we have a cornerstone period 5 days a week, And so that Wednesday is called Collective Cornerstone, and that's when we all get together as a school and as a family and do a little bit of worship and listening to a message. And so we're kind of evolved into collective is what we like to call it. But, I mean, it's still a chapel setting, but we're just not – we don't do it as many times a week as we have in the past.
I think I would have liked that when I was in school. Now, we had to go to chapel 3 times a week when I started college, and then it got cut down to 2 times a week. But it
keeps it fresh.
If you didn't turn your chapel ticket in, you got in trouble for not being there.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah,
I've been there.
You have been there. You didn't have to go through it. See, Jackson Christian is a fun place, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And we are speaking with Eli Gay, the fine center. Like I said, he wears 61. I believe you weigh 190 pounds.
Yes, sir.
It's got to be all muscle because you don't have Dunlap like I do. That's where it's Dunlapped over my belt line with the stomach. But you hit the weight room. Coach Irv, pretty good guy to work with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's really been encouraging. Ever since I first started working out with him, he's really encouraged me and helped me through that process of getting stronger.
I'm going to ask you a question I haven't asked some of the young people. I think I asked Tacker this, but what's your favorite workout is it the bench press or leg press, or what do you like in the weight room?
For arms, I would definitely say bench press, and then for legs, it would be leg extensions. Those are my 2 favorite.
And of course, Coach is welcome to correct me, but for defensive people, I always thought the bench press, I mean, you got to work all the body, but the bench press is the ultimate. And I can see where for offensive people now, because blocking rules have changed. You don't know about the old blocking rules, do you?
It's just power.
You had to come and the hands had to stay in here. So now y'all can actually, as long as you don't get outside an area, y'all can, what we used to call holding, but it's legal now. Mm-hmm. And the center's the hardest to me to block. He's got to look down the line and see. He's got to communicate with his teammates and do all of that stuff. Now, when Walker's gone, I'm going to ask a loaded question, and the coaches may. Would you like the long snap after he's gone?
Well, I know Wyatt. He's our second-string long snapper.
Okay, I did not know that. See,
yes,
I've
sir.
learned something tonight.
Yes, sir.
And that's a good thing. Now, favorite drill at practice?
I would say it would be lineman one-on-ones with Coach Reichard.
Yeah. Coach Reichard's a pretty good guy. He's
yes,
a fun guy. Now, he can be tough, but he's a fun guy.
Yes, sir.
And overall, it's a team, right?
Yes.
Family, and we get along, and that's good. We used the example a while ago. We don't want to get in fights, and we don't like Tatis and Machado did. And Seabass probably ready to kill me right now for bringing that up because he's a big Padres fan. But we do have that atmosphere. Now, outside of school, what hobbies do you have?
I like to hunt and fish. Those are my 2 go-to favorite things to do.
And that's a good way to relax and stuff, is to hunt and fish. Now, I'm bad about, do you go to sleep when you fish? I throw the line out there. And I'm bad about going to sleep when I fish.
Well, most of the time I'm on a boat, so that keeps me awake.
Oh, yeah, that will keep you awake. There's a little movement and stuff there. And, of course, your favorite athlete?
I would say it had to be Peyton Manning or Al Wilson.
Al Wilson from right here in Jackson,
yes,
Tennessee.
Sir. My mom was schoolmates with him in, I think it was history.
So she went to JCM.
Yes, sir.
That's a good place to go. Now, I was at Northside, though, and I went to Old Jackson High. But we, of course, the JCM beat on us for a while, and then we found the secret, and we beat on them for a while until we ran out of quarterbacks and stuff. But that's neither here. Al Wilson's a great young man. He played 4 sports?
I did not.
Yes, he played 4 sports. And now I'm going to give you one other thing. You're a Peyton Manning fan.
Yes, sir.
You need to find his dad's book that he wrote. And Peyton, of course, is, I think, in the process of writing. He may have already come out with it. Peyton Manning is married to a young lady whose grandfather was Van Thompson, the UT running back in the late 30s on their undefeated team that UT had. And her dad went to Old Jackson High.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so Peyton's got Jackson connection. Plus, he and Trey Tigg, he sneaks into town every once in a while because Peyton draws a lot of notoriety. Now, one other factor, and I bet you know this one. What's the only thing, and this young man's getting all my tough questions.
Yeah, he is.
What's the only thing that Jackson Christian has done that no other football team has done since we started the playoffs here in Tennessee?
I know we have the only state championship in Jackson.
I got to buy this young man a lunch and dinner. He deserves the prize. Eli, that is great. Now, is there anything that people need to know about Eli Gay? Here's a young man that has been quiet. He works hard in practice. The man ahead of him, who's a grade ahead of him, also gets hurt, and he comes in and does such a fantastic job. What else do we need to know about you?
Well, I think you pretty much summed it up. I like to consider myself a hard worker and like to work for things that I get. And, I mean, that's about it.
About it. Besides the coaches, and we know they have a big influence. I've already quoted a couple of my former coaches tonight. Who are the biggest influences? And you can have more than one. It's unfair to limit it to one person influencing.
I would definitely say mom and dad. And I would say the biggest football influence would be my papa, because he was defensive coordinator in my 3rd grade, the first year I ever played. And he pushed me to play football, and then I ended up loving it.
Isn't that special to play for your grandfather?
Sir.
And you know what, Coach, and I'm not making this up, that's what I call my grandfather, was Papa. And my granddaughter, and I didn't tell her to do that. That's a special term. He has – that's just an experience that's bringing back a lot of good memories. And that's one I can tell because his eyes lit up when he mentioned his grandfather. And that's a good thing. So now we've got a couple of things that we want to do. One of them is, what is your favorite Bible verse?
1 Corinthians 9:24.
And that is great. You know, our young men, I got to give all of them. This young man included, great choice of Bible verses. Something that means every one of them haven't given me anything that's not pertinent to the way people ought to live, which tells me I already knew it, but we're doing a great job at Jackson Christian.
Absolutely.
And everybody all the way down from Dr. Benton to and even the people that came to clean up the field the other night. What nice people.
Yes, sir. Mr. Johnny is part of our staff there, and he, you know, with having flag football the next day, and nobody wants to do that, but he and another guy cleaned everything up, and that's just kind of the atmosphere that we try to have.
Oh, they were super impressive the other night when I got to meet them. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Eli, I've got one last question for you. It's your turn, and you're being listened to all over the place from Kingsport to Mount Pleasant. I'm sure there's people outside the state because Coach Palmer's parents listen a whole lot of time. But just relax, and anything you want to say to not only Jackson Christian fans but football fans in general.
I would just like to thank the fans for coming out and supporting us every week. I always see a lot of people at the away games and stuff, and to keep the faith in us when we're ready to work, ready to get better, and continue our journey down the season.
With young men like you, we will get better, and we will get better not only in this sport but in track, baseball, everything. The young ladies at our school are special people, and we want to thank you. Hopefully you'll come back one night and talk with us again, and listen to the broadcast sometime, the replays up there. Wesley and I can get a little colorful, and then listen to the coaches for the real truth on the next team meeting. And that's the way to do it. Folks, I have enjoyed these two, and Coach and I got to come back and talk about Tipton Rosemark and some things like that. Quick thought, anything? We're going to give them a great game, though, Friday night.
Oh, yes, sir.
Folks, you don't want to miss it. And this young man is one reason why. He's one of – there are a whole bunch of them on that roster, but I'm feeling energized. At 70 years old, you have energized me because when you get to work with fine young men like this and coaches, it's a great thing. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout, and when we come back, Coach Buller and I are going to wrap it up. We're going to talk again about the Southern Capital Player of the Week, and there is one injury that somebody had, and I'll tell you about that off-air, Coach, that we'll talk about. And this is before the season, I think this happened. So you probably know who I'm talking about. Hey, we're at the Hub City Deli here on Pleasant Plains Extended. It's a great place. People are still enjoying food. Come on down, get you something before they close. Let's take that time out.
Hello, I'm Wes Harris with State Farm Insurance. My customers love the fact that they can call me or my team members anytime. So when they're in an accident on the bypass with somebody that doesn't have insurance, or they come out of the grocery store and somebody's backed into their car and has not left a note, or they come home and there's a tree on the roof, or maybe water pouring out their front door, they call a local agent, somebody that they know. So call me, Wes Harris, with State Farm Insurance, located right here on Van Drive in Jackson.
Football looks fun. I bet I would have been great at it. The first football playing Deer, they would have made a movie about me and everything. Probably get Kurt Russell to play me. But alas, me and my dreams run right over again.
For fast, reliable collision repair, trust the experts at Mitchell's Body Shop. And get back out there.
Southern Family Dentistry's dental laser technology is a game changer for those who experience dental anxiety. Just imagine, no more drills. Look at some of Dr. Nathan Nash's patient results. We provide a relaxing environment to ensure a pleasant visit every time. From a simple cleaning to a full dental reconstruction. And now, prepless veneers. We're there when you need us. Dr. Nathan Nash will treat your family just like he wants his family treated. Check them out on Facebook to see all those loving smiles. Call 300-4545. Southern Family Dentistry, we want to make you smile.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Wes Harris in Jackson today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And we are back at Hub City Deli. Coach Brian Bullard and Coach Joe Holloway here. He's the real coach. I am past prime time on that, but doing a little broadcast. Coach, tough loss, but, hey, we moved on. The thing I like about Jackson Christian School, we move on. Next game theory, and that's what we got. Our next game is at Tipton Rosemark. It's a 7 o'clock start, and it's your turn to tell us what we need to know about Tipton Rosemark.
They played. Let's see. I just drew a blank of who they played TCA last week. Hard fought game, and TCA pulled that game out. But they have some athletes. They get them the ball. We're going to have to do a great job of tackling in space, limit their touches, and quarterback runs the ball. So you always got to account for that. We have to, we ran the ball. We were able to run the ball Friday. Just couldn't quite put drives together, full drives with scores. And so we're going to continue to be who we are, and that's to run the ball, to get after their defensive line, and try to put some points on the board and get Gage comfortable, get him in rhythm, and get the ball to our playmakers out on the edge as well. And so we're, a region contest, you don't look at records. You can't look at that stuff. You got to go out and play, and you got to go out and execute, because anybody in our region can beat you on any given night. And so we preach to bounce back, but we look forward, we look ahead, even after a win, to the next week and what we have to do. So, it hurts as a loss, but good teams bounce back, and so and we consider ourselves a good team, and we got kids that are resilient, and kids are more resilient than adults are, and they bounce back, and so we're excited for another opportunity. You want to get back out there and not put too much pressure on the last week's performance, but you do want to get back out, kind of get up on that horse again.
Absolutely.
And so we're looking forward to it, another chance.
Well, I know we're 5-3 all time, and last year we won 40-0 in that game, and I believe they have a COVID loss to USJ. They did not play that game. They actually play better on the road than they do at home. They've won more on the road. I believe they're 1-3 technically with the COVID loss at home, but their other two wins came on the road. But you know what? That's history.
Yes, sir.
You know what? And the coach knows where I'm headed. We're in the present, and what happens on Friday night, past game last Friday night, that's history. It was nice, etc., all that. The focus is there, and we want people to come and support our young men.
Yes, sir, and these guys touched on it, and they really do. Nobody told them what to say. Nobody coached them up on what to say, but mentioning our fans and how how well they travel, and we're looking forward to another good crowd at Tipton, and hopefully we can give them something to be excited about and excited for an opportunity.
And, Coach, again, the Southern Capital Player of the Week, which is a great award because the fans actually get to vote on that.
Yes, sir. We try to put that out there for our Twitter, and once again, Walker Ray is named the Southern Capital Player of the Week, and this is a good honor for him, and I know he'll be excited about that.
It is a very good honor, and we're looking forward to it. Coach, as we wrap up, it's your turn to say anything you want to the Jackson Christian fans.
Like the atmosphere Friday was tremendous. The tailgate before, the crowd, the band, our cheerleaders, everything. It's set up for a great night, and the result's not what you want, but you still love to see that support, and because these kids put in a tremendous amount of work, and they deserve that, and so we're thankful for that. We have a really good home atmosphere. And we're going to try to continue to put a good product out on the field. And so, like I said, another opportunity, another region opportunity. Come out and support us and have safe travels going down to Memphis on Friday.
Absolutely. Come out and see the Eagles as they go to battle with Tipton Rosemark. And, of course, in finishing up, we need to remind everybody that any rebroadcast, retransmission, or further use of this program without the express written consent of Worthy Road Studios is prohibited. For the administration, for my co-host, Coach Brian Bullard, for the young men that were here and the ones that are not here, we want to say thanks for your time this time. Till next time, good night all.